As president, she won't just cater to her own supporters and punish those who refuse to kiss the ring or bend the knee. She'll work on behalf of every American. That's who Kamala is.
And someone who knows that better than anyone, her own husband also delivered a touching testimonial and tribute last night, sharing his personal story and his love story with Harris.
We talked for an hour and we laughed. Well, you know that laugh. I love that laugh. And maybe that counted as our first date. Or maybe it was that Saturday night when I picked her up and told her, buckle up, I'm a really bad driver. Because you can't hide anything from Kamala Harris, so you might as well own it. And as I got to know her better and just fell in love fast, I learned what drives Kamala. And it's what you've seen over these past 4 years, and especially these past 4 weeks. She finds joy in pursuing justice. She stands up to bullies just like my parents taught me to. And she likes to see people do well, but hates when they're treated unfairly. She believes this work requires a basic curiosity in just how people are doing. Her empathy is her strength.
Although Vice President Harris was in Milwaukee last night hosting a mega rally of her own, she made sure to catch her husband's speech, posting this sweet moment on social media and writing, "Love you, Dougie." Watching him give that speech. Just as we learn more about Doug, tonight we'll learn more about the other important man in Kamala Harris's life, the person she selected to be her vice president, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, a former high school teacher, former football coach, former National Guardsman, who reportedly has never used a teleprompter before. He will be tonight's keynote speaker. So get ready for night 3 of the Democratic National Convention as the Democratic Party continues to rally support and enthusiasm. And as Michelle Obama said last night, hope ahead of the election, which is now just 76 days away. It's where we start the hour with my friend and colleague, NBC News political correspondent Jacob Soboroff, back on the convention floor for us. So, Jacob, I wonder if it felt in the room like it felt watching, like the Obamas sort of cracked open what was excitement and enthusiasm and added all this depth of feeling to what the country has been through, and especially the Democratic Party over these last 8 years.
It felt electric, Nicolle, and it was a feeling unlike I guess that was the second day of this one. I've been through 4 days of the other convention. Through all of the days of all of the conventions so far, it felt unique, and it felt special to the people here, and that's what they told me. Everyone was on their feet. Everyone was locked in, and just that back-to-back 1-2 punch of Michelle Obama and former President Obama, and sort of the spirit. I think a lot of people, myself included, weren't there to experience the spirit of the 2008 campaign, what it was like to be in Denver when President Obama accepted the nomination in that football stadium all those years ago. And I guess it felt like, I think for a lot of us, a little bit of a taste of that, but 20 years later, but in 2024. And when you talk to people about how they were feeling last night, there were smiles on everyone's faces here, because it felt like, again, to use the analogy, the passing of the torch or the turning of the page, a new chapter. And that extended to elected officials. I'm in the California delegation right now. Actually, if I couldn't go, I want to bring in Congressman Robert Garcia, because he actually spoke from the stage. I want to ask him that exact question. Congressman Garcia, what's going on?
Good, how are you?
Robert Garcia was on the stage from Long Beach, former mayor of Long Beach, and that's how I first got to know you.
Yeah.
What did it feel like to you to be in here last night? Because you, like me, I don't think you were at the convention when Barack Obama accepted the nomination all those years ago.
Yeah.
Did it feel to you maybe a little bit of a taste of what that might have been like?
Oh, I mean, it was electric. Obviously, seeing Barack Obama, seeing Michelle Obama just make the case not just for Kamala Harris, but then make the case against Donald Trump. It just gave me all those feelings that people talked about when they were in that audience when Barack Obama spoke. I was happy to be there. So last night was amazing.
So, you said a little bit of a taste. We got a little bit of a taste of also what it might be like to know and to love from Doug, Kamala Harris. You spoke personally about your relationship with Vice President Harris. You talked about how when your parents died during COVID, she called you. She was one of the first people to call you, and she spoke to you directly. What was that like? What did she say to you then? And what is your relationship? I mean, how do you know her on a personal level?
Yeah, I mean, look, I've known her for years. I supported her when she ran for AG. I got to know her work then. She supported me for mayor when I ran for mayor of Long Beach. We've just supported each other. In 2019, I was one of the co-chairs of her national presidential campaign. So strong political allies, and I just love her. I mean, she's a good person, a great person. When my parents had COVID, she not only called me during that time when they were in the hospital, she called me after both my mom and my stepfather passed away. She talked about her mom, how when she lost her mom, talked to me about her faith, about loss. And it was just really comforting at that moment. But she's always done that. She's the person that calls you on your birthday. She calls you to see how you're doing. She's got great personal relationships that go a long way back in our state. And I'm just so glad that tomorrow night, people are going to get to know the Kamala Harris that so many of us know and love. So we're fired up.
Congressman Garcia, it's so good to see you. Thank you very much. Great to see you. So that's another example, Nicolle. That was a little bit of sort of a taste of what we got last night. It felt like, seeing, I think for a lot of people in this audience, seeing old friends in Michelle Obama and Barack Obama, former President Obama. And then again, it was this experience of hearing from Doug Emhoff about what it's like to live in a home, to love Kamala Harris and what she's like on a personal level. And Congressman Robert Garcia is one of those people also who knows her just like that. That's why I'm hanging out in the California delegation, because there are a lot of people who have known her for a very long time here. And whether or not they saw this coming, it is a special time for people down here.
We talked yesterday about the family separation policy, and President Obama and Michelle Obama didn't shy away from talking about being on the receiving end of Trump's cruelty. Michelle Obama said, we know what he's going to do. He's going to make you fear people like me because we're successful, hardworking people who happen to be black. It felt like a warning to her party about what's about to happen. And I peeked over in the break and looked at what they were saying on Fox News. And Jesse Waters is what's old is new. He's still talking about birtherism. He's still trotting out this racist trope with all of his co-hosts nodding along and smiling like it's a joke, like the racism of birtherism is a joke and a legitimate news story to be talking about. What do you think the Democratic Party has learned from watching the hard right, the Trump right, the Republican Party, it's Trump's Republican Party, launch racist attacks against a nominee ahead of this really intense general election season?
I think former First Lady Michelle Obama summed it up in a nutshell. She said we got to do something, and that was sort of the vibe and the energy here on the floor, is that there's no patience for that any longer. Tolerance was preached nonstop, and even from former President Obama talking about, look, it's okay. We should be tolerant of our neighbors and our friends, even when they may say something that we don't agree with or that makes us uncomfortable. It's okay to give people a second chance, whether they're in our families or outside. But by the same token, the message here last night was, there is no time to waste, and it is time to go at it. Look, you're right here. Come over here for a second. Nicolle, I always love it. She's here like this close to me, and she's listening to every word I'm saying. What did you take away from that thank you very much for saying that, from the do something message from former First Lady Michelle Obama last night? What did it mean to you?
Make phone calls and knock on doors. Go out and talk to voters.
And how about for you?
I do. I run phone banks.
You run phone banks?
I run phone banks.
So how is this election going to be any different? And how is sort of the messaging from this campaign making you sort of change your approach to how you might have done things in the past?
There's a lot more hope and joy. This is reminiscent of 2008 Obama.
What did I say, Nicolle? Reminiscent of 2008 Obama. And I think...
we're in the same group. We run a big group in San Francisco Bay Area of volunteers. Flooding in. People are so willing to work. And for the last year and a half, we had a hard time recruiting people. So this is a joy and an energy.
I've been talking about our emails are clogged right now with former volunteers coming forward saying, I want a phone bank. I phone banked before. I'm back. I want to do it. The energy is unbelievable.
Grassroots energy is big right now.
People want to be a part of this. Thank you guys so much. Nice to meet you. Nicolle, there's a couple more people over here. When I talk about the energy, there's so much of it over here. Look, everybody's taking a selfie. Can we get in on your selfie right here? One more. Let's go. Yeah. We're live with Nicolle Wallace. Everybody say hi.
Washington State's in the house. Washington State's in the house. Okay.
So everybody, Nicolle, when they say do something, yeah, take it with Nicolle. Turn around so Nicolle can see it too. Here we go. Guys, when Michelle Obama said do something last night, what did that mean to you?
It means go out there, vote, knock on doors, register people to vote, write letters to swing state voters to vote, because the margin is very small and we need to win in November. So it means go out there, fight, and win.
Right on.
Nobody's.
Right on.
I can't emphasize it enough. It just feels like we all know what the stakes are. Everybody knows what the stakes are. I think on both sides of the aisle, everybody thinks that the stakes are very high, but it doesn't feel like an apathetic moment. Whereas, who knows what this convention would have been like, if this was Joe Biden's convention. I can't tell you. It would have been a Sliders universe, to do a callback to one of my favorite TV shows back. This guy likes that too, back in the day. But I can tell you what it feels like right now here. It is buzzing, Nicolle. It's buzzing.
Are they excited about Tim Walz tonight? Ask them.
But we are not weird.
From Tim Walz tonight, you said?
Yeah, what do they want to hear from Governor Walz?
Governor Wallace from the great state of Minnesota is going to be on this stage tonight. What do you want to hear from Governor Wallace?
We just want a winning message and to feel his love and joy and get everybody motivated. And we're going to take it to the streets as soon as the convention's over, and we're going to win.
You know who knows Minnesota better than anybody, Nicolle? The Minnesota delegation. I'm taking this as an invitation to go over there. Come with me for 1 second, guys. Bye, you guys. See you later. Thank you very much. Come this way. Listen, and by the way, we know Amy Klobuchar will be up there. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you. Amy Klobuchar is going to be up there, I believe, introducing him tonight. She knows him just as well as anybody. The thing about, I think you guys are looking at us from up there. She knows him just as well as anybody. The people in Minnesota here, it's one of the most fired up delegations of anybody that I met yet. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Come on through. And I've said this before, but in addition to Senator Klobuchar from Minnesota, I know a little something about Minnesota myself, because the great Patty Sobroff, my mother, is from Minnesota, and I can tell you firsthand how excited people are from this state for Governor Walz. Can I interrupt you guys for 1 second? You know why I was attracted to come over here to you?
I can't imagine.
The flannel shirt. Everybody's talking about Tim Walz. Look, you got a flannel shirt over there too. What do you want to hear from your governor tonight?
We just want to hear more of what he's been talking about. Tim Walz is an outstanding man, full of integrity. He's compassionate. He cares about people, and I think he's ready to move this country forward. Along with the vice president, he will be a great support for her, and I think just more of the same work he's done in Minnesota. He's a great supporter of labor. He's a great supporter of families, paid family medical leave, all the protections that have been put in place for working people, and just lifting people up. That's what Tim Walz does.
What's your name? I didn't ask you.
My name is Bernie Burnham.
Bernie Burnham?
Yes.
What is it about Minnesotans? I consider myself half Minnesotan because my mom's from St. Louis Park. That people around the country feel this connection. They say it's Minnesota nice. What is it about Minnesota?
It's just a great place to live.
It is, isn't it?
That's all.
Except for they say the state bird is the mosquito sometimes, and that's always difficult in the summertime. It's really nice to meet you.
They're controllable, you know that.
Okay, all right. Nicolle, Minnesota delegation, they're still filling in, but this is a spot to watch tonight. It's going to be really fun over here.
I love you, and I feel like I helped you get your steps in today, so we have that going for us, too.
I'm schwitzing, as my mother would say. I've been walking around a lot. I'm definitely getting my steps in.
Jacob Sobroff, you are the best. Thank you so much for starting us off again.
Thanks, Nicolle.
Let's bring in one of the Tennessee Three, Tennessee State Representative Justin Jones, ahead of his speech tomorrow night. We got to know you as you stood on the front line of democracy. Talk about being at this convention that is proudly showcasing the pro-democracy coalition in America.
Well, it's so great to be with you, Nicolle. The energy here is electric. People are fired up and they are energized.